for real. That's my nigga for real. I don't know.
Mr. Vibes on Vibes.
We'll rise in our lives, but you gotta be smart about it. Celebration with the guys. I sacrificed 'cause I knew you could not sleep without it. Meanwhile, I love you. You are my girl. You see,
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
but just a baby, baby. It's okay, girl. 'Cause I'ma be alright tonight. You don't have to call. It's okay, girl. 'Cause I'ma be alright tonight.
All right.
Oh, girl, your face is saying why.
Hey, Foxy.
Tears and knives.
Happy Friday. Good to have you here.
Should've cherished me.
How you been?
Listening to friends. Now it's the end. And again, no story
I've been missing for a couple weeks.
Damn, I love you.
Hey, Sugar.
Oh my girl.
Good to have you. We're talking toxic signs of toxic relationships today. 10 signs of toxic relationships.
But you're so
We'll get started in a few minutes. How you guys been? Fill me in. How you been since the last time I've had the pleasure of being on? Tonight. I have been good. Actually, I have been, my business circle, we've been challenging ourselves to figure out what we're going to do the last 100 days of the year. So I've really been in some planning mode and grind mode and trying to debate what direction I want to take business going into 2024. And, you know, I was away last week. My wife was judging a beauty pageant, so hanging out in the hotel last week. But everything has been good. Just been planning, rearranging. And yourself? And again, if anybody's watching this your first time here, I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, human service counselor, author, educator, and on Fridays from 11:30 to 1 o'clock or so, I come on to have a conversation about various things that deal with personal development, relationships, or anything along those lines. Today we are talking about 10 signs of a toxic relationship. And why? Because I am the author of a new book, 12 Steps to Recovering from a Toxic Relationship. Good morning, Rosemary. And so one of the things that I did with the book is to give an example or create a guide to actually help people figure out how to restore their happiness. And so I am excited by how the book is doing. And one of the things that has come up in conversations about the book is that some people don't realize when they've been in or are in a toxic relationship. You would think some people would know. And some people think of the extreme when you say toxic, but actually it's the things that don't make you happy. So I'm going to go over that today. I'm going to go over the 10 signs. And we're going to have that conversation a little bit. But while, you know, we're getting things together, getting ready to get started, fill me in on what's been going on with you. And over here, when I'm on live, this is a safe space, so we do not attack people's points of views or people's things. We don't entertain trolls or bots. We don't do that. My moderator, Eliel, will be here. I know she had some running around to do, but that's the thing is I don't entertain negativity. We're not doing that. That's not why we're here. This is a safe space. This is a space, an intellectual space, and a space where we can have conversations. I'll be teaching, I'll be guiding, I'll be leading. But my goal is to inform, entertain, and educate those that come by. And the hope is when the camera is turned off, I've given you something to run with, given you something to rock with. And again, the goal is to offer understanding. I don't get into a lot of senseless back and forth and debates. The box is not going to be open because we're not going to go back and forth, and we're not going to turn this into yelling and screaming. We don't do that here. And the other thing is, as you see over here, the heartbeat of the room, tap the screen. As I've mentioned before, if you've never been here before in previous lives that I've been on, The hearts that go up on the side of the screen literally help me to lock in because I do have ADD. That's why often you'll hear the music in the background. And while the music is on, it allows me to focus. I literally can focus on multiple things at the same time. So tapping the screen is always a good thing. And we can go from there. So I appreciate that. And if you have questions, by all means, ask the questions as we get into the different signs. And I'll answer those for you. And we're going to get started in a few minutes. And if this is, again, your first time here, check in. Let me know where you're checking in from, what part of the country, what part of the world that you are checking in from. Would love to know. I am currently in Delaware. I'm originally from New York. I've been in Delaware 7 years now. Yeah, 7 years now, but I'm originally from New York. Former educator of 23 years. And now I am a private counselor who offers assistance to people. New Jersey. I lived in New Jersey for a brief time. South Jersey, Salem County. Graduated from Pennsgrove High School in 85. I was on my way to jail in New York, so they sent me back down to Jersey to keep from getting in trouble. Shout out from New Jersey. Is that Anthony? Okay. North Carolina. I was just in Charlotte over the summer. Had to go down for a wedding and for one of my former mentees. Charlotte was way too hot. Whew. But again, definitely check in where you're coming from, and we're going to get ready to get started in a second. Stone Mountain, Georgia in the house. All right. Shout out to Stone Mountain, Georgia. I haven't been in GA in a minute. Actually, my business coach is having his conference in Georgia today and tomorrow. So I have some things I got to do today. Unfortunately, I would not. I'd be in Georgia this weekend. All right. Well, happy birthday, Brother Anthony. Appreciate you, man. Listen, God bless you on your born day. Great to see another year, brother. Enjoy. I hope that you have a good one and a safe one. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by, my man. Appreciate you. So again, let me know where you're checking in from. Also, you guys in the chat, let me know how many of you have been in toxic relationships that you knew were toxic. Put me in the chat. Peace, brother. Peace and blessings. Respect. If you have been in a toxic relationship, put in the chat. Put me in the chat. If you have been in a toxic relationship. Gotcha, Steve. Put me in the chat. Hey, what's going on, official Aries girl? Hello. Hey, PJ. Okay. I see the me's. I think all of us have to some degree, but I always like to ask who has been in a toxic relationship. Now, here's the challenge question. How long did you stay in those toxic relationships? Just throw out a number. I don't want anybody to out themselves, and I don't want to trigger anybody. So again, if any of the things that I say or any of the questions that I ask are triggering, I apologize. It is not designed to cause you any type of negativity. And again, you are always free to not respond. And I apologize if I trigger anybody. 4 years. Okay. Got you. And I'm happily divorced and happily remarried. I was in my previous marriage 10 years. And it didn't start off toxic, but I think I knew early that we shouldn't have gotten married, but we did. So I'm going to say 10 years, even though I don't think the first couple years were toxic, but I think I was. 12 years and currently ongoing. Okay, see, I got you. And that's another thing, too. When I wrote this book, it was because someone here on TikTok, shout out to Jennifer J., she actually asked me, she said, I wish you had a book that spoke to what to do when you get out of a negative relationship. And so 6 months or 6.5 months now, 7 months now, I think, I put the book together based on her request because it just really made sense. And so I didn't realize how many people were in ongoing situations like Brother Steve just mentioned, or had just come out of toxic relationships who needed help. And that was something that I said, I'm going to sit down. I put my other projects on hold, and it actually it's bearing fruit because a lot of people didn't know what to do once they got out, and a lot of people didn't know how to get out. And that's what I'm here. And so today we're going to talk about the signs. So this is, if you're in something, you want to take a look at this, or if you've just gotten out of something, you might want to listen or pay attention to this list because it may make sense to you. And again, there's always the availability of the book right here, as well as I'm here for private counseling as well. And I do this for real. I have a master's degree in human service counseling, a master's degree in education. I'm a retired educator of 23 years in New York City school system. I currently run my own and after school program here, as well as I do private counseling here in the United States as well as in Europe. So I come to the table with receipts, and I've written 7 books. Yeah, 7 books, but I've been a part of 7 or 8 anthologies, as well as I've been featured in Ebony magazine. So I come to the table with receipts. So I'm not just here chatting to be chatting. I come to the table with an understanding of how to help people. So if you look at the 2012 Ebony magazine, the Black Love issue, my wife and I are in there. I've written my own memoir, From Gigolo to Jesus. I've written books on communication. I've written poetry, as well as I've written inspirational fiction. So, hey, glad to meet you as well. Is that Gusso or Gusso? I want to make sure I get that right. I hate messing up people's names. I try to be, but just because I have the degrees don't make me a scholar. It's what I do with the information and try to transfer the information to other people. But I respect that. Thank you so much. I try to be. And that's another thing, too, is that a lot of people will go to school, get a degree, and then don't do anything with it. I am not trying to do that. I went to school to get the degrees to be able to help other people. And as a man of color, I went to school because I felt it was my way to be able to try to help other folks. Once I've gotten out of that domestic violence relationship, I've been much better and wiser. I love to hear that. And again, that was the goal. When the young lady reached out to me and asked me to even consider it, this was not on the radar. But when I thought about it, I was like, how can I help people that have gotten out of and also I've noticed in my counseling sessions, people were struggling on what to do now that they purged themselves from the negative relationship. Thank you so much. Yes, listen, if it wasn't for God and my wife, I would not be here. They held me down when I was trying to figure out me. And that's another thing too. Do not poo-poo on the power of a positive relationship and having someone in your corner, having someone that loves you and respects you. And as a man of faith, it was my faith that gave me grounding, but it was also my wife being able to see past my BS because she was strong enough to be who she was. So she didn't lower herself down because I was going through it. She stood her ground and was like, nah, you better figure it out. But at the same time, she was there to understand that my potential was better than my present. And we were able to get things together. And that's one of the reasons why where's that? Yeah, here we go. When I wrote From Gigolo to Jesus, my wife wrote the foreword. And my wife is actually the one who wrote the article that was picked up by Ebony magazine. And together, we've been powerful together. And listen, all the degrees should have her name on it too, because she edited all my papers. And that's another thing too, guys. And I don't care what your persuasion is. I don't care what your attraction is. Two people who are connected to each other in a loving way will always be beneficial than being by yourself. You can be good by yourself, don't get me wrong. But the power of a positive relationship, if your name is on a, yes. And I say that they only allow you to put one name on it, so they put mine. But I never stop giving my wife credit. And that's another thing too. Credit the people who helped you. Make sure you name them. Even if the piece of paper only has one name, I'm going to make sure when I mention them, I mention her or mention whoever helped you. Always remember to give credit to those that help you. All right? It's super important. Okay. So again, everybody doing well. Everybody checked in. All right. All right. Here we go. There we go. So, get ready to go. I've already taken care of this, and we don't indulge trolls. So today we're talking 10 signs of a toxic relationship. And again, the goal was to give life to what toxic relationships are. I'm glad you're here too, Shania, and I hope I said that right. Hey, there's my moderator. Good morning, Eliel. What's going on, darling? But the goal today is to give face to what a toxic relationships are built on love anymore. It's built on what you can do for me. Mr. Driver, very true, but we can't give in to what social norms start to become. We have to hold the ground on things that we know work and know that they'll resort back to something that is steady and positive. Love is not discussed anymore, so love is not promoted. So a lot of the younger folks coming up and older folks don't talk about it. And because they don't talk about it, it's not seen. So if it's not seen, it's not taken in with positivity. So I make sure that love is given all the due that it is deserves, because we have to make love something that people look at and go, okay. And we have to bring that back to the table. And social media has hurt that in some ways, because we got a lot of folks that's on. And thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you. And keep tapping the screen. We've allowed a lot of voices on negativity to come to the forefront, and we're not countering that. Not attacking the negativity, but balancing it out by offering a counterbalance. That's what I do. Thank you so much for the gifts. So I offer a counter to the the high sexual nature, the love of like. I talk about love. And I talk about love because love changes even the way that we think. Love is ridiculed, but it's okay. A lot of things that people don't understand are ridiculed. A lot of things that people have never experienced are ridiculed because ignorance is bliss. Well, I don't get into the Will and Jada situation only because we're seeing what they want us to see. But I can tell you this. If you read or listened to Will's book, I would say get the audio book because he's doing the narration. He was abused when he was younger. And one of the lines that he put out that I think is very important, he said, imagine the person that you love the most being the person that hurt you the most, which is his father. He watched his father beat his mother and he was hiding in a closet feeling that he couldn't do anything to protect his mom. That's going to shape how you interact with women. So then when you look at his behavior with women since that abuse, and you look at how Jada's going through her situation with her mom and things with her, and then you put two people who suffered abuse together, well, here's what happens. And love is seen as different ways per individual, of course. But if we can at least talk about love, if we can at least give love a position from our own position, that's all we can do. Everybody's going to take in love their own way. But if we could at least offer a balance, you know what happens? People tend to look for each other. Like-minded folks tend to lean and find each other. And for my faith-based folks in the room, God says, my sheep hear my voice. So when people connect to love, they'll find each other and they'll have great circles and great conversations. You just have to be able to have those conversations in a way that's not, attacking other people, which is what I do not do. And I don't have to debate you on how I feel about me. You can tell me how you feel about you, and I will respect that, but I don't have to debate you on my position about me. And that's another thing that we have to get away from is debating everything. It's no debate. Okay. The 5 love languages are necessary, and people need to understand what their love language is, and if it's gifts or touch. It's a microscope to look through to be able to see what works for you. There are tons of information out there. The question is, how do you use it? How does it apply to you? And how do you use it in a form that your partner can respond to it? Like I look at relationships like breathing. When you're breathing out, your partner should be breathing in. When your partner's talking to you, they're breathing out and you should be breathing in. And that back and forth builds life. But if only one person is talking and only one person is receiving, well, then the person talking runs out of air. They go. And the person who's only receiving and can't give out, they pass. So love is built on the two of you actually sharing with each other. All right, so if you guys are ready, let's get into the list today. And again, I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, human service counselor, educator, author, father, husband, you name it, I wear a bunch of hats. So today we're talking about 10 signs of a toxic relationship. So I want you to rock out with me. I want you to get your notebooks out, your pads out, your phones out, whatever you're going to do. And if you're at work, do not get yourself in trouble listening to me when you were supposed to be working. The replays will be over on YouTube, and you can go over to YouTube and watch the replays, as well as all the other shows that I have done are over on YouTube. Do not get yourself in trouble to be on live. That's another problem that we have. Hey, how we doing? Good to have you here. Where you checking in from? And that's another thing too. Make sure you let me know where you're checking in from. And okay, you guys are ready. So, if you guys are ready for number 1 in the 10 signs of a toxic relationship, put number 1 in the chat, please. Let's go. Shout out from ATL. Shout out from Houston. Let's go. All right, so if you guys are ready, put 1 in the chat. Charlotte, North Carolina. I was just there. I was at the Hilton, right across from the Chick-fil-A, wherever it was. True people say to know to love themselves first and know the time before entering. They should. You should have a strong understanding of self and love of self, because you can't expect somebody else to be in love with you and you don't know how to love yourself, because then how are you going to be able to explain to somebody what you need? All right, so number 1, 10 signs of a toxic relationship. Number 1, if you are with a partner who constantly criticizes or belittles you, that is toxic. Number 1, constant criticism and belittlement. If you are with a partner who constantly criticizes you and belittles you, that is toxic. One or both partners continually criticizing or belittling each other, leading to a diminished self-worth and self-esteem. The more that you allow somebody to criticize you and belittle you, you are doing yourself in. Hey, Melly. That is toxic. And again, I want you to think about your current and past relationships, because we have to give something face if we're going to actually deal with it and heal from it. We have to give it a look. So these 10 signs of being able to help you. This is, again, why I wrote the book, 12 Steps to Recovering from a Toxic Relationship. But what I've noticed from a lot of people who have read the book and have gotten back to me, they said, I didn't even realize I was in a toxic relationship. So I want to make sure I change that. And there's assessment inside the book that you can take that's going to help you to figure out some things. So I put that in there for folks, but I want to go over it today with everybody. So number 1 is constant criticism and belittlement. All right, you guys ready for number 2? Put 2 in the chat. Let me get 10 twos in the chat. Come on. Who do I tell if I'm the toxic one? Well, that's when you get counseling. That's when you reach out to someone like me to get counseling to work on behaviors that you know are negative. We have to accept our faults, but we do not have to remain in a position of negativity. Once we accept that we are damaged, once we accept, then we reach out. My information is in my bio for a free discovery call. My information, my professional information is in my bio. Just go to my bio. And that's the start. Reaching out, accepting, and then reaching out for help. So number 2 is control and manipulation. If you're dealing with somebody who tries to control you and manipulate you, the number 2 sign of a toxic relationship is a person who tries to control and manipulate you. Control and manipulation. When one partner exerts excess control over the other using manipulative tactics like guilt tripping, emotional blackmail, and gaslighting, that is a toxic relationship. When a person is telling you that you are the problem, that it's in your head, that you need to stop tripping, you need to stop bugging. When a person uses emotional blackmail, oh, but when I did for you, I ain't say nothing, how come you can't do for me? And when a person is trying to make you feel bad. I know, Terry, how are we doing? The funny thing, Terry, I'm going to be very brutally honest. I was debating if I was even going to come back on live. The last couple weeks, I've really been debating whether I was going to spend the time here on Friday and come back on live, because I've been making some professional changes and I wasn't sure, and I had to think about it while I was away last week, and I said, you know what, I'm still going to come on and do my time on. So I appreciate you, Terry. I'm glad you're here. Let me think. I missed a question here. Let me go back. Can a narcissist personality disorder person get better? Yes, but it takes a lot of help. Steve, is that Steve? I'm going to see, make sure who answers that question. Yes, Steve. The person can, but it's going to be very, very difficult, and the person really has to get the professional help and guidance that they need, and then really put the work in. I tell my lady she assumes a lot and can't assume, just ask and get the answer. Again, Mr. Driver, that's a conversation of how we have to understand the ways to communicate with each other, and we have to be honest in our communication to be able to say, I don't like the way that you're speaking to me, or I would like you to speak to me differently, and then be able to explain how the person is speaking, which is creating the negativity between you. But that is a conversation. We have to be comfortable with having difficult conversations. So again, number 2 was control and manipulation. Okay? All right. So you guys ready for number 3? So yeah, I've been up in the air. I was going to shut everything down because I was trying to figure out possibly a private way to set up the folks and we get together privately, Zoom room or a call or something like that. Only because the negativity that I see sometimes is like, oh, but then I realize what I do for my hour and a half, 2 hours that I'm on in connection to my business and other things like that. Plus, I thought about the people that I have met because of my live, and I don't worry, it's not the numbers. It's the actual interaction. I want folks to gain, and I thought about it and said, you know what? I'm doing what I got to do here to help people get some of the information that they need. So, all night long. If you're not used to expressing yourself, what are some of the strategies that you can mention so people won't shut down? That I would definitely look into getting professional help, or there's a ton of YouTube videos if you don't want to spend any money where you learn what's the best way for you to communicate. You might have to go back to some of the old-fashioned ways of just simply writing the initial letter or note just to get the conversation started. But you can sit and develop means of communicating by just figuring out or studying the different ways. YouTube is free. Always remember that Google and YouTube are free. And ChatGPT is a fantastic way to be able to sit down and say, create a way for me to communicate X, Y, and Z. And you can actually have, and you're using the power of technology to actually help you get the things that you need. There are means to do it. There's ways to learn it if you're going to put the work in. Remember, it's a matter of committing to the change that you want to be. We all don't have to stay in a particular mindset if we don't want to be. We can actually change that, but we got to be willing to put it in. And my YouTube is Keith K.L. Belvin. Just when you get over to YouTube, my page is there. All my previous videos are there as well. All right, ready for number 3. Put threes in the chat, guys. Let me get 10 threes. We got 29 people here. Cool. Let's put 10 threes in the chat. Let's go. And keep tapping the screen. Come on, guys. Keep tapping the screen. Let's go. We're shooting for 20,000 likes. Yeah, I said it. We normally get around 30. We're going to go for 20. I've been away for the last 2 weeks. I can't expect the same thing when I've been off my grind. So we're going to go for 20,000 likes. Y'all keep tapping the screen. I'll keep teaching. I'll keep entertaining and I'll keep informing. That's the goal. I cannot get into another relationship after my last. Well, if you say you can't, you've already closed the door, Guso. You can if you now are ready. You can't if you're not ready. But don't put the poison out there that you cannot get into another. You can when you're ready. It may not be right now. That's the time to do the work on you. So whenever you do decide to get into a new relationship, you're the better you. And hopefully you've done the things to find a better person than the person who might have did you dirty or did you bad in the past. We are products of our past, but it doesn't dictate every move that we make in the future. It just gives us a learning experience of what to learn from and what we know we don't like. All right, so did I see the 10 threes? I saw 1 3. Hold on, what's going on here? I said 10 threes. Let me see. Wait a minute. There we go. I got you. All right, so number 3, when you have a lack of trust. Number 3, the number 3 of the 10 signs of a toxic relationship is lack of trust. There you go. And that's honesty, Guso. And again, I hope I'm saying that right. That's honesty. If you're not ready, don't go out and date. Get the help. Heal first. Remember that. Heal first. Feel good about you before you open up the door to get into a committed relationship with somebody else. Heal you first. You want to be healed before you go out and test the waters to make sure you're good. All right? Lack of trust, number 3, guys. Lack of trust. Constant doubt and suspicion prevail. When one or both partners feel the need to check out on the other and lead to an invasion of privacy, if you got to keep snooping and looking over your partner's shoulder and the two of y'all just can't seem to get it together, that's not a relationship. That is toxic behavior. And if you have reasons to not trust your partner, deal with those. Discuss those. Get help. Counseling works. Counseling works. Let me tell you why counseling works. I am not emotionally connected to your situation, but I come to the table with a resource of knowledge and understanding. Also, books. Read. Definitely my book, but also other books. I'm reading right now The Earned Life by Marshall. And I just downloaded a bunch of books. I read a ton of books. I listen to audiobooks, but the newest one that I'm reading is The Earned Life by Marshall. It's actually pretty good. And that's another thing, too, is that when you get books from professionals who are specialists in the areas that you need help in, you're getting information from a person that you would like to work with. Listen, books are a fantastic way to open our eyes or understanding some things that we don't know. We're not supposed to know it all. No person does. And we all need assistance. So research the people that you would like to hear from. If they've written books or they got podcasts or they got ways to get information out, do that. That's what I'm doing now. Do I have all the answers? No. Can I help every person that comes through this group? No. But if I can take this, do this for an hour and a half, move it over to YouTube, write a book for you to read, then you're getting a lot of what I do in the comfort of your own home, doing what you got to do. Keep tapping that screen. We're at 5K. Come on, we're going to go to 20K likes today. Don't stop tapping the screen. That's all I ask. Tap the screen. The heartbeat of the room is going. Where's the heartbeat of the room? Come on. Let's get the heartbeat up and going. There we go. Come on. Let's get that heartbeat going. That's how I see things going. All right. Number 4. All right. Let me go back over real quick. Number 1 was constant criticism and belittlement. Number 2, control and manipulation. Number 3, lack of trust. All right. Number 4. Let me get 10 number 4s in the chat. Come on, guys. Let's keep it going. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, human service counselor, Let me see. What happens? What is wrong with me that I attract mates, one with bipolar disorder 14 plus years, then 12 with NPD? Well, first of all, don't blame you, but you are part of who you attract. So one of the first things I would do is check myself. What circles am I placing myself for? What energy am I giving off? What is it that I'm looking for that these people seem to fit this criteria? You might need to take a step back and do a real deep dive self-evaluation on the places that you're going, the people that you're talking to, what you are accepting, which is causing this negativity. Also remember that when dating, we don't know what a person is until we've had an opportunity to really sit down and get with them. Okay? So again, number 4 is poor communication. Fun guy, what do you mean lack of respect? Are you just tossing out different signs of toxic relationship? We'll get there. I believe that's on the list as well. We'll get there. But again, remember, guys, we control us. Nobody is going to make you happy. Let me just say this right now. Please take that off the table. You have to know what you need to be happy, and someone can assist you in being happy. They cannot make you happy. You have to know what makes you happy, and who you choose to be in your life should enhance that happiness. Because if you need somebody to make you happy, then that means they control your happiness, which means they control you. Don't do that. You have to know what makes you happy. And then you look for people who can enhance that, and you do the same for them. And now you have the makings of a strong relationship. We have to stop looking for other people to identify through. Be your own identification and find somebody that you can connect with. All right. Hope that helps. You guys keep tapping that screen. We're going to keep going. Let's go. We're going to get to 20K likes. All right. Y'all ready for number 5? Fun guy. Please don't put out the list. I don't want to confuse people. I have a list here. You can add to it, but we're going to get to it. You're actually throwing me off because I don't know if you're asking a question. All right. I have a list here. That may be on the list, but I don't want to throw people off who's actually counting on the list. I appreciate that. Okay. Number 5. Let me get a couple more 5s. You control the narrative. Thank you, God bless. Exactly. You control the narrative for yourself. The relationship is going to be what it is going to be in between you two. But you can control yourself. And that's what you can control. And then when you bring that to the table and pair that with somebody who has the same openness about themselves, then the two of you become something different together. And the two of you should become stronger together, not tear each other down. And if you are tearing each other down, that is toxic. If it is negative, it is toxic. And this is what we're going through in the terms of the list. So number 4 on the list of 10 signs of toxic relationships is poor communication. Number 4, poor communication is a toxic sign in the relationship. I got you, fun guy. No problem. I got you. And I'm glad that you're here. Number 4 is poor communication. Every relationship needs open, honest conversations. Now, yes, they seem to be rare these days, but it's still a requirement. Good relationships require open and honest conversation. And instead of passive, aggressive behaviors, silent treatments, or shouting matches or dominant interactions, all that is not necessary. Now, do we do it? Yes. Do we have those problems? Yes. That's why we also have to have off-ramps. Guys, you got to be able to forgive each other. You got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to say, I'm sorry. You got to be able to come back to the table and go, the relationship is worth more than all this negativity. Let's work at it. Let's talk about it. You can't sit back and play the I'm going to get you game because you made me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable. Now we sit back and forth and we fussing with each other. That's not healthy. And you're not children. And if it just gets to that point that y'all two got to play the silent treatment and say nothing. Now, let me just say this. If you're playing the silent part to gather your thoughts so you can have quality communication, I respect that. If you need to take a step back and get quiet and say, I'm not going to say nothing to my partner right now, while I gather up what it is that I want to say, maybe even write it down, cool. But make sure you go back and have the open and honest conversation, because poor communication affects quality interaction. You can't interact with somebody and have a quality situation if you're going to have poor communication. And when I say open and honest conversation, don't come to the table with secret agendas. Don't come to the conversation secretly trying to manipulate the situation. And don't look as communication as win-losses. Stop. Don't do that. You're not battling. Rip off the Band-Aid. Yes, if have to. If you have to. If you have to, when someone has no empathy and gaslighting, how do you communicate? Well, then that becomes the question, Stephen. If you know that they're doing that, then you need to take a step back from that situation. Once you deem a person is hurting you, it is time to put that on hold and step back from that person and figure out and ask yourself a question. If I know this, why am I staying? People are going to do what they do. And we're not always going to get the answers to why they do what they do. They may be damaged and hurt too and need counseling. But you can control you. If a person's coming to the table with negativity, ask yourself, why am I staying? Why am I accepting that? Love is not supposed to hurt. And don't use love as the reason why you stay with somebody just because. If you love them, tell them to go get help and go with them. Say, hey, let's do this together. Let's go to counseling. Or you should go to counseling, or I go to counseling. Somebody's got to go get some professional help around here. And then let's come back to the table and fix this. And what you want to do is present to them what you see. What if it's a family member instead of a partner? It doesn't change. Same thing. Family just means you're related. It don't mean that y'all have to love each other. I don't mess with certain members of my family. I don't care that we family members. I'm not staying with anybody that's toxic. Family or somebody that I'm dating. And if they're family, don't let the fact that your family be an excuse to why you stay with them to be hurt. Family is not supposed to hurt you because they're family. Distance yourself from anybody who hurts you. Now, I don't do pity because there's no reason for that. Stephen, you're still coming up with reasons to address the negative, address the positive. I'm going to go get help for myself. I'm going to offer them assistance, and I'm going to offer to go with them to get assistance. And if they don't want none of that, cut them loose. Listen, guys, don't be scared to cut anybody loose. Don't be scared to cut anybody loose who's not healthy to you. Family, loved one, whoever. You do not have to stay with somebody who hurts you because of we're family. Or that's my wife. No, you try to get them help. You can separate from a wife and then come back. You can separate from a husband and then come back. I didn't say get divorced. But you got to start the healing process somewhere. Somebody's got to step back and go, this ain't healthy. And I'm not going over the cliff because that's what you want. Now, if you've offered assistance, if you've offered to go with them to get assistance and they just don't want it, okay. I forget quickly, so I listen over and over again after all that did the same dumb things over and over again. Again, if a person has proven that they don't want to change, it is time to go. You do not stay with somebody who hurts you out of some sick sense of loyalty. That makes no sense. All right. Y'all ready for number 5? And again, I want to thank everyone that is here. If you're new and this is your first time here, I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, human service counselor, author, educator, and I am here to help you. We're here hey, what's going on, Gorilla? I'm here I try to be here every Friday, 11:30 to 1 o'clock. If you have any, you want to reach out to me, all my information is in my bio. So today we're talking about 10 signs of a toxic relationship. We're on number 5, and we will go back over the whole list at the end. And if you're new, let me know where you're checking in from. Again, great to have you, Margaret. Did I say that right? Let me see. Yeah, Margaret. So again, let me know what part of the country or the world you're checking in from. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Glad to have you over here, Gorilla. All right, so if we're ready for number 5, let me get 10 5s in the chat. Come on. Let's put 10 5s in the chat. Kansas, shout out to Kansas. I don't think I've ever been to Kansas. Put 10 5s in the chat. Let's go. Let's get 10 5s in the chat as we talk about the 10 signs of toxic relationships. Because many of us have been in or in toxic relationships where we just ignore the signs. I'm not doing that. This is why I wrote this book. 10 Steps to Recovering from Toxic Relationship. And it's not no small book. I put some time in on this one because I felt folks needed some assistance. And the link to my book is in my bio as well. You got to let it go. Listen, I am happily divorced and happily remarried. And I'm going to tell you why. I would not be able to happily enjoy the wife that I have now if I didn't let go of the situation that I was in before. I do not dislike my ex-wife. We had a bad situation. It didn't work, but we had 2 wonderful children. But at the end of the day, we weren't supposed to be together. And if I don't let that go, then I don't find the love of my life. I had to let the pain go, the negativity, the bad thing go to make space for what eventually became the person I really wanted to be with. Do not be scared to walk away from a bad situation. Yeah, does it hurt? Yes. Or is there some recovery that's necessary? Yes. Did counseling help me? Yes. And especially for many people of color, we're not told or taught about counseling. We're told to keep all that pain inside or in-house, which only creates more of a generational curse when it comes to how do we deal with quality mental positioning. We have to get away from that. We have to get away from things that do not work, and we know that they don't work, but yet we keep repeating it. Keep tapping the screen. Come on, we're going to get to 20K likes. Come on, Leo, keep tapping that screen. So number 5 is isolation from friends and family. When your partner is attempting to isolate you from your friends and your family, that is a big, gigantic red flag. They are moving you into a position where they can do what they want to you and you will not have any help. That is a toxic sign extraordinaire. When your partner has something negative to say about every family member, every friend, and they don't want you out with nobody else but them, pick up on that quickly. Number 5, isolation from friends and family. When one partner actively discourages or prohibits the other from seeing friends or family, leading to increased dependency and isolation. When a person only wants you up under them, around them, do not allow you to go anywhere else, that is an issue. And you know it. Thank you so much, was that Shania? I appreciate that. But it is super important. And pay attention to that. All your friends can't be horrible. And if they are, have a conversation with your partner. What do you mean? Especially if they were cool with those friends when y'all were dating or when y'all first started getting together. And all your family is tragic. I get it. But if that's true, now let's be honest. If you have a messed up group of friends around you, you have some messed up family members, that partner should be helping you to find new friends. They should be part of it too. They should be helping you grow because they should be helping you heal. But if they literally just keeping you where they want you for themselves, pay attention to that. When a person is positioning you where they are in control of every aspect of your life, that is toxic. Remember, your partner should be helping you heal, helping you grow. Why? Because it's beneficial to the both of you. I gain when my wife is healed from anything that's wrong with her. I gain when my wife is in a great mental place. I gain when my wife is doing the best for herself. So why would I not promote that? Why would I not? Shout out to Georgia. Why would I not help with that? Why would I not help to see her get better financially? Why would I not help her if she's dealing with a problem at work? Why would I not help her if she's looking to go to a different position or if she's at a position that she doesn't like? And I was like, nah, then leave that job. But we're going to lose $10,000. Don't worry about that. Quit that job and you do something else. Because if it's creating a problem here in our home, why would I want you to stay a part of that? So remember, your partner should be trying to help you heal in negative situations, help you grow, because that partner gains from you becoming whole. Not corner you away from everybody else and putting you in a box where you only move when they want you to move. There ain't nothing healthy about that. That's toxic. All right, so let me go to chat. Let me ask y'all this question, chat. How many of y'all have had relationships that have had poor communication or have tried to isolate you from other people? It's not just a narcissist, love. Narcissists have that trait. Manipulators, other folks too. Also, people who have been hurt will do the same thing, love. And that is lovely. Lovely T. That is a sign of a narcissist, but there's other people too. Manipulators, people who have been hurt. And some people who have not healed from their own hurting don't want anybody around you because they're fearful of losing you. So they want to cut everybody. They don't want nobody near you because of fear that they're going to lose you. So it's not just a narcissist, but that is a sign of a narcissist. But how many of you have dealt with relationships with poor communications? Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Stephen. I spent 23 years in the classroom. I better remember how to do this. I appreciate you though. So I am in Delaware. Put me in the chat if you've been in relationships with poor communications or you've been in relationships where people have tried to isolate you from your family and your friends. Put me in the chat. Come on, talk to me. Put me in the chat. If you've had relationships with poor communications or relationships where people have tried to isolate you from your friends and family. I did that not realizing I was doing that with my ex-wife. I stopped going to family events because I knew my family didn't like my ex-wife and my ex-wife didn't like my family. So I literally kept my ex-wife and my sons from different family events, so much so that my family got comfortable me not showing up with them, and I didn't realize the damage I was doing to my sons. That when I got divorced and I started bringing my sons around, they were super excited to be around my kids and was like, oh, I'm so glad you're not with that ex-wife. And I didn't realize how much negativity they had towards my ex-wife, or that she had created on them. And my thought process, well, I'll just keep them separated. No, that wasn't good for my boys. It wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for my family. No. I had to fix that. I was in a toxic situation. Hey, you don't write a book called From Gigolo to Jesus and not be toxic. I was. For 37 years, I was out here a pure whore. But the last 18, going on 19, I've gotten myself together. I'm a man of faith. I do what I got to do because you have to learn, you have to grow, and you have to acknowledge what you were. If you were the toxic one, acknowledge that. If you were hurt by a toxic person, acknowledge that. But you don't have to stay in that mindset. Listen, all of my books came after my divorce. I got divorced officially in 2003. Oh, I got my comic here too. I didn't write the comic. Here's just a couple. This is an anthology that I'm in, one of them. Here's another one of the books that I've written. My very first book, 2007. I've written 7 books, 2 master's degrees. I've been in a lot of places, did a lot of things, all after getting divorced. So don't tell me you can't change. Don't tell me you can't become something different. And to all my brothers and sisters who have faith, every time you say men and women don't change, you're calling God a liar. Yeah, I said it. You can't call yourself a child of faith and then say people don't change. Then what God are you praying to? People change when their experiences and their influences change around them too. Once you acknowledge what and who you are, you can change. Yes, I was all of that on my own. Yes, here we go. And then we have to be able to explain the change. That is the reason why I wrote From Gigolo to Jesus, to show you how I went through that change. I wrote this book because a young lady here on TikTok said, Keith, I wish you had written a book that could help me. And when I prayed about it, I said, you know what, she right. So I wrote the book. That's what help is supposed to look like. That's the talents that we all possess. We have ways of helping each other. Hey, B-Love. All right, so let's get back to the list. Y'all ready? Let's get back to number 6 and why. Let's put 10 6s in the chat. And while y'all are putting the 10 6s in the chat, I'm going to reset the room and just go over the first 5 real quick. Let's get 10 6s in the chat. Number 1 of the 10 signs of toxic relationships was consistent criticism and belittlement. Number 2 was control and manipulation. Number 3 was a lack of trust. Number 4 was poor communication. And number 5 was isolation from friends and family. No cheating, God bless. You can't give everybody 6s. You can only give 1 6 for you. Yes, all my books are on Amazon, Shania, but I would say go to my website because Jeff Bezos takes 55% from every author that puts their book on Amazon. So authors lose money when they sell their books on Amazon. Most people don't tell you that because Amazon is a necessary evil. I also own a publishing company as well. And I've been publishing our books. I don't know if it's back there on my wall, but actually, yeah, I didn't have my other one. There's my Counsel in Western. Yes, 55%. That is why Amazon is able to give you the book at some cheaper price, because they're taking it from the author. You go, ooh, I get that book at a cheaper price, and the author is paying the price. When you can, if it is a respectful author, go to their website. I've had my website since 2007. But go to their website, order the book from the website. No, I didn't make the audiobooks yet. Somebody actually asked me, Melly, about doing the audiobooks, but I'm not sure if I have the patience to sit down and read through my whole book. I'm not going to lie to you. But that is something that I'm considering. I have not got a lot of requests, so I don't know if financially it's worth doing. Because I don't come across as many people who are digging audiobooks like I do. I read nothing but audiobooks. Listen to, I mean. But that is a consideration. But yeah, go to my website, either one of my websites. I have my publishing website and my counseling website. Oh, yeah, you know, I used to do radio. I've been on 3 different radio shows in New York. But it's not that. It's the patience. I'm not going to lie to you. To sit down and read the whole book, when you have ADD, it's very difficult for me. And I have, like I said, I've been on different internet radio shows. I've been guest on other local radio shows. I've been on Hot 97. I've been on Power 99 at the time and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's just, for me, having ADD is very difficult to sit down and read through the whole thing and stay excited about it. That's just me. But I appreciate it. And it is a consideration. But again, my links are in my bio. You'll see the publisher, and you'll see all my websites links in there. Go to my website, purchase the book from my website. Also, I can sign it. When you get it from me, I can sign the book for you. I can't sign it when you get it from Amazon. But yes, anybody that's into publishing, ask them what's the percentage. Amazon takes 55% unless, like me, when you set it up as a publisher, you can reduce that to 45%. Amazon doesn't tell you that. So when I publish books for other authors, I set their distribution at 45%. Hey, Donna. So this way they only lose 45% instead of 55%, which is the Barnes & Nobles, Walmart. All my books are listed there as well on their websites. You lose money. All right, so let's get to number 6 of the 10 signs of toxic relationships. And again, I appreciate you being here. You could be anywhere in the world. You heard me. Keep tapping that screen. We're going to get to 20K likes. Here we go. So number 6, and this one may stand out to you guys, frequent jealousy and possessiveness. Put me in the chat if you have dealt with somebody like that. Frequent jealousy and possessiveness as one of the signs of a toxic relationship. Number 6, frequent jealousy and possessiveness. Overwhelming jealousy often results in prohibited behaviors, creating resentment and tension. So if you've been in or are in a relationship with somebody who's frequently jealous and possessive, that overwhelming jealousy often results in prohibitive behavior, creating resentment and tension. If a person just tells you that's just how I am, that don't mean you got to stay with them. When a person tells you, I'm just jealous because, no. And yes, family and kids too. When a person tries to justify their possessiveness and their jealousy, don't rock with that. Don't fall for that. Remember, underline to everything. Do not be scared to cut things loose. Do not be scared to be alone. Lonely is a different feeling. We can talk about that. But do not be scared to being alone. It's necessary. Hey, we got the 10K likes. Let's keep going, guys. We're going to get to 20K today. Come on, or more. And I deal with that a lot in my counseling sessions. People who are like, I've been in counseling sessions where the partner will come in and go, who you talking to? In the middle of a session. And literally stick their head in the camera like, who are you? I'm like, I'll let them tell you. I have ethics. I've had a person get mad because I said I'm not going to tell you who I am because of ethical reasons. I was like, okay. And I sit here quietly. I'm not going to add fuel to the fire, but you're not going to scare me off my own job. I got to get to work. Okay. All right, Terry. Check out the replay over on YouTube to see the rest of the list. Enjoy. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next Friday. Understand, guys, jealousy, don't say, oh, he loves me, she loves me, that's why they so jealous. No. If they're that insecure about themselves, you might need to check that. My therapy is helpful and I'm setting up boundaries. Yes, let's go, Donna. You working, Donna, you getting there. And boundaries is talked about often in my book. I talk about boundaries in all of the steps. You have to have boundaries. There's got to be points that you go, nope, I'm not accepting that. Nope, I'm not allowing that. Hey, let's give some purple hearts for Donna. Y'all, if y'all are new, y'all may not understand, but Donna's going through some things and she's been rocking out with us. Let's everybody put purple hearts in the chat for Donna for setting up her boundaries. Come on, put purple hearts in the chat. Let's celebrate Donna for setting up her boundaries as she's going through a little difficult thing. in her life right now. Let's give her some love. Come on. Put purple hearts in the chat. Let Donna know that we're here to support her. There you go. Way to go. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Beloved. Thank you, Ellie. There you go, Donna. Way to set those boundaries. Now you got to stay to those boundaries, Donna. Thank you, Gorilla. There you go. You got to hold those boundaries. And that's another thing, too, guys. When you set boundaries, stand on that. Because a person is not going to like that you put up boundaries. A person is going to be like, yo, what you doing? Yo, you changed, or why you acting funny? Don't fall for that. Don't be manipulated by that. Don't let somebody tell you your boundary is suspect. Nah. Don't go for that. Don't let somebody tell you what you're doing to protect your peace is whack. God destroys the unborn? He has. But we're not going to have that conversation. Thank you, Ellie. So anyway, guys, that's the thing. You will have a manipulator. You will have a narcissist. You will have somebody who has abused or damaged themselves. Convince you that your healing is a problem. Let me say that again. You will have people who are hurting. When they see you start to heal, will tell you that the way you're healing yourself is a problem for y'all and that you should stop. They will literally try to find a way to upset the apple cart of you healing you, because they'll be upset with the fact that your healing is messing around with their negativity. Don't fall for that. If you don't learn nothing else from me today, do not be scared to cut somebody loose and be out here on your own. All right, here we go. Y'all ready for number 7? My healing. There you go. Come on, Donna. That's what I'm talking. That's what I've been trying to tell you these last couple of months. Your healing is all for you. You got to heal you. It's not about him. Remember, I told you that. I love it. Listen, look at Donna's growth. Come on, Donna. That's what I'm talking about. That's growth right there. Because we wasn't saying that a couple months ago, Donna. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's growth, Donna. That therapy is paying off. I love it. You keep doing it. You keep healing. That's what we do. That's how you do it. Just keep pushing. You keep pushing, you'll get there. I don't care if it's one step a day. You keep moving, you will get there. You'll get there. All right, here we go. Here we go. Number 7. Woo, number 7 is tough. All right, let me get 10 sevens in the chat. Let's go if y'all ready. Come on, let me get 10 sevens. Y'all ready to move on to number 7 of the 10 signs of a toxic relationship? And again, I am Keith K.L. Belvin. I am here to help. There's 1 7. Thank you. There's another 7. Thank you, beloved. Thank you, Penny. Come on, Penny. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I said Penny. Penny. Let's get some more 7s. Come on, let's add to the list. There we go. Come on, there's 3. Come on. I have a big cool. All right, you need to smile. That is growth, Donna. I am so proud of you. Applause for Donna. That's what I'm talking about, because that's not what we were talking about a couple of months ago. I love it, Donna. I love the growth. I love it. Keep pushing. And let me tell you something. I'll let you know a little secret, Donna. It gets better. You will feel so much better when you get to where you need to be, but you got to get there. All right, so number 7. When you have an unequal power dynamic inside your home, right? Now, research indicates that relationship where one partner holds the majority of power and control often leads to diminishing autonomy and potential abuse for the less dominant partner. And that is from the National Domestic Violence Hotline. When one partner dominates most decisions and activities, preventing other from having equal say or control in the relationship, it is toxic. When there is unequal power dynamics, you and your partner should have an equal understanding. It doesn't mean that the money coming in has to be equal. It doesn't even mean who handles certain things. You just need to know about everything. Y'all need to be in the know about everything. One of you is going to be better at math than the other one. One of you is going to be better at handling paperwork than the other one. One of you is going to be a better business person than the other. But that doesn't mean the other person gets no say-so. No, that's not how it works. My wife is fantastic at editing and the writing part. So I let her do that. You gotta tell me, no, go ahead, I trust her. You gotta have that with your partner. Unequal power dynamics. And we see that often in relationships. And often, unfortunately, it's more men than women, where men will try to be in complete control and don't allow their partner no access to nothing. So a lot of these women, the reason why they stay is because they know if I leave, I won't have nothing. And a lot of manipulative men put themselves in that position. But women also do it as well. But more so than men in this country. And actually other countries too. But either way, unequal power dynamics. Do not place yourself in a position where everything you do filters through somebody else. Y'all are supposed to be equal partners. They're supposed to support you. You support them. You're not asking a grown person for permission to be an adult. What the? I'm about to curse. Pardon me, Lord. And I see that sometimes when people are like, well, I got to ask my wife. I got to ask my husband. Now, to get their feedback, yes. But to just be an adult? No. Keep tapping that screen. Hey, Mystic, keep tapping that screen, guys. Let's get to 20K. We're almost there. We're at 13. Come on, keep going, guys. Keep tapping that screen. And let me tell you something. In a lot of my counseling sessions, the fear of not knowing what to do causes people to stay in very, very negative relationships. I have to be honest. I have had counseling sessions with men and women. Yo, she said if I leave this, and he said if I leave this, or she said she don't want to give me money for this, and he said he don't want to give me money for that, and she said she gonna do this, and she said she gonna, like, whoa, wait a minute. What point do you have say so in this? Well, I just don't want to create a problem, so I just get quiet. Whoa, wait a minute. You're an adult. You don't have a say so in your own life? I don't want to create a problem. I don't want him to argue with me. I don't want her to argue with me, and I just don't want to hear nothing. I just don't say nothing. What? No. We got to fix that. Don't give your voice away. Don't give your life away. Don't give away your happiness. No relationship is worth that. You sitting around unhappy, and here's the crazy part. The other person is having a ball. The other person doing them. Hey, I'm going out with the fellas. I'm going out with the lady. Okay. No. It's time to go at that point. When you're an adult, be an adult about you. Love you so much that you're not going to let somebody do you dirty because they claim to love you. No one should use love as an excuse to allow you to rough them off. He never took accountability for his TikToks. He's being blocked and healing. That's it. Sure, that's your question, though. And like I said, Donna, it's about you. If he don't want to take responsibility for his actions, fine. You're going to take responsibility for your healing and eventually your departure if he just doesn't fix him. Nothing wrong with that. Ask your question, though, and I got you. What's up? What's the question? And we're going to get ready to go on to number 8. In a second. I'm just waiting to see. And again, thank you for tapping the screen, guys. Keep it going. Yes, it is. I'm a perfect example. My wife caught me cheating before we got married 3 times. We talk about it in the book. 3 times. Well, the way that you do it is first you have to acknowledge that something was wrong with the person who was cheating, which I did. The second thing is I had to put the work in to prove to my girlfriend, now wife, that I was willing to become somebody different. And 3, you have to allow time to be the Band-Aid that's going to help cover the wound, which you're eventually going to take off as you move forward. Every situation that you can get into as a human, you can recover from if you put the work in. So yes, you can get past infidelity. It's not for everybody, but yes, you can. And we talk about that too. Actually, I think we talk about that in, hold on a second. Let me see. So, I believe, and y'all know this magazine, right? Ebony Magazine. I tell you, I come to the table with receipts. All right, so, boom. If KL didn't appreciate being loved by me is a drama-free, productive relationship, then he didn't deserve me. See, that's something that my wife wrote. I'll read it to y'all. I don't know how many women KL cheated with. That's me. I don't know how many men KL cheated with during the first 5 years of our relationship, but there were many. After the 3rd discovery, I refused to be one of those women who cried and begged her man to stop cheating. If KL didn't appreciate being loved by me in a drama-free, productive relationship, then he didn't deserve me. I also knew that his cheating had nothing to do with me and everything to do with his insecurity and the self-destructive path he was on. So I gave him an ultimatum. I had never done that before. Normally, if a guy I was dating showed potential to be trouble, I would just drop out of his world. But this man was different. For the first time in my life, I actually felt that he was a gift from God, and that is what made me realize I couldn't make myself the center of KL's problems, but I could help him steer on from it. I told him it was either God and me or the whores in the street. He begged me not to put him out of the apartment, saying that he would sleep on the couch if he had to until I was worthy to share the bed again. I was willing to go the distance with him. Each time KL was caught cheating, he was emotional and would tell me I didn't understand. I told him whatever he was feeling, he had to share with me so I could help him. He said he couldn't believe how strong I was being for him. I was the one who was wrong. The turning point came when KL took control of his life and began to go to Bible study and confiding in an accountability brother. He also began to remove some of the things causing him to falter, including certain relationships. With KL's cheating behind us, we have been happily married since 2007. He published his book, From Gigolo to Jesus, from our publishing company last February, and overcoming so many obstacles personally, we have committed to ourselves to making marriage cool again. So it's doable. You just got to do the work. How does that make sense? I never understood it. Cheated because of themselves' insecurities. Yes, because when men cheat or women cheat, when people cheat, it's because they're being selfish. Now, what's causing that selfishness could be pain, could be whatever. And that's why counseling comes in. For me, I didn't know how to be committed at the time. I didn't know the work that was required to be committed. I knew I wanted to be with someone, but I didn't know what monogamy actually required. Will Smith, actually, there's a lot there. You got to read his book, too. I can talk about that later on. But when it comes to cheating, people cheat for various reasons. The problem is we brush cheating with the same brush. Each individual cheats for various reasons. The key is you have to sit down and figure out why, and then they have to be able to accept why they cheated, look to change that, and build on the very change that they say. So you can come across, just like addicts. An addict doesn't stop being an addict, they just stop using. You still have the addiction inside you because you're chemically altered. So you have to fight against that. The same thing with cheating. No, I'm in Delaware. So once you realize what the problem is, that's where the work begins. And that's what I've done. And let me tell you something. There's times I sit there and I look and I go, oh, no, I'm not going back out there, because once you can distance yourself from the negative behavior, you build in, when you cheated, did you ever make you question your wife's trust because you cheated? Did that ever? Yes, of course. Because I thought every cheater thinks that the person that they're cheating on is going to do the same thing to them. But the question becomes, what do you do once you say you want to change? See, as she mentioned, I had people around me that I had to open up to say I need help. I wasn't scared to ask for help once I realized what I was going to lose. For many cheaters, it is until they lose everything that they hit their rock bottom. Like any other addiction, any other negativity, you hit rock bottom and then it's, I got to change. I didn't want it to get to that point, so I changed before. All right, so here we go. That's a great question. Thank you so much, Noam. All right, so let's go to number 8. All right, let's go to number 8. Let's get back on track, and I will gladly answer any of your questions at the end. I'll be here for a little bit. I don't have a counseling session until 2:30. Actually, I got to travel to the church today for a counseling session, so my little one is home from school, so I got to hang out with her a little bit today, too. All right, so let's get 10 8s in the chat. Let's go. Let's put 8s in the chat. Y'all talking food. I was trying to ignore that because I'm hungry. All right, let's put 8. Let me get 10 8s in the chat so we can go on to number 8, and I will gladly answer any of your questions. No, it's cool. You good. That's what lunch is for later on. All right, let's go. Couple more 8s. We got somebody cheating and handing out 8s for other people. I got you. Thank you, guys. All right, so number 8 on the 10 signs of toxic relationships. Number 8 is frequent breakups and reconciliations. All right? Frequent breakups and reconciliations. Studies suggest that cyclical relationships can be harmful to mental health, leading to increased distress and depression. And the source was the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships. That when you're in a cycle of breaking up and getting back together, breaking up and getting back together, that's not healthy. That's toxic. The relationship undergoes repeat cycles of breakups and reconciliations, creates instability and emotional turmoil. When you keep going through these breakups and you keep getting these back, you're basically getting back to the reset and getting to a point and right back and forth. That's not healthy. There's no progress there. My screen went black. Can you see me? Can y'all see me? Somebody said the screen went back. Can you guys see me? Y'all can't see me? Okay, y'all can see me. Okay, what if the person does not want to be in a relationship? Then cut them loose. Why are you with them? Anybody that don't want to be you, cut them loose. Remember that. Don't stay with anybody who does not want to stay with you. Cut them loose. Don't question yourself. If they don't want to be with you, don't try to figure out why. Cut them loose. There's 7.4 billion people on this planet. And we've probably met less than 1.1%. What if the person doesn't know how? Doesn't know how what? To cut them loose? Get professional help. Get professional help. Sign up for counseling yourself. YouTube, free. Google, free. Buy books. Not to be in a relationship. Doesn't know how to be in a relationship? Again, Google is free. YouTube is free. Counseling is... Well, counseling is not free. The not knowing is not an acceptable position, no, because there's too many free ways of getting quality information to help you to know. Something that a guy said to me years ago, he said, libraries have been free for years. As a counselor, I'm here to hold up a mirror to what you're saying and then be able to call you out on it professionally, in a compassionate way. Not to victimize you or make you feel bad about not knowing, but to actually help you to see what I see, hear what I hear, and then together we find a way to fix that so you can go on to live a happy situation. That's what counseling does. And if you need a deeper form of therapy, or if psychiatry is necessary, or even if medication is necessary, those are all potential resources. But first it starts with you saying, I need to get some help. Once you decide that you need to get some help, there are many resources out here, some that are free and some you got to pay for. But how much money do we waste on other things that we could actually afford a lot of the things that we need? We just have to really take it into consideration. I see people walking around with $1,000 phones. And I'm like, you could have got a $300 phone and spent the rest of that on counseling. I see people walking around with $1,000 shoes. You could have got a $200 pair of shoes and took the rest and got yourself a ton of books or whatever else. So when we talk about it, there's, and thank you, you just got the want versus need. No race of people spend more money than us. Very true. There's proof to that. But again, many of us spend on things that we don't know or things that we should know, but we don't. And that is an issue. We're only as strong as what we have come to learn. If we don't take the time out to learn, then what are we going to do? And that's an issue. It's like a job or a church. If you no longer want to be there and the person church job doesn't serve you, why are you there? Yeah. You shouldn't be anywhere that's not feeding you or you're not offering something and back and forth if it's not mutual. People stay with church because that's the church my mom went to. Really? I got you, John. Number 9. I got you. All right, here's a tough one. So, we don't buy property insurance. Yeah, that's true. I know I used to be an insurance salesman back in 91. You're 100% right. All right, let's get 9 9s in the chat. Come on. Let's get 9 9s in the chat. And let's get number 9 on the list. All right? And I'll reset the room while we're putting the 9s in the chat. Again, I want to welcome you all. If you've been here, if this is your first time here, make sure you put in the chat where you're checking in from. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, human service counselor, author, educator. And every Friday, well, try to every Friday, 11:30 to about 1 o'clock, we get on and have a conversation about things that deal with personal development, relationships, or anything along those lines. Shout out from Vegas. Okay, no. Keith Lee Country, as I understand it, Indianapolis. I have a client in Indianapolis. Okay, I believe, I think it's Indianapolis, something like that. I forget. Yeah, I think it's Indiana. Huntsville, let's go. But again, guys, I want to thank you for being here. Let's go. You better stop pushing me, Ja. I got it. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Would you count the nines, Ja? All right. Since Ja said, let's go. Physical or emotional abuse. Very important, guys. And there's no jokes that I can tell. I don't play around when it comes to physical, emotional abuse. That is a gigantic nuclear red flag. When a partner uses physical abuse or emotional abuse or tactics to hurt, control, and intimidate somebody else, that is beyond a red flag. You need to get yourself safe, create a safety plan before you just up and go, and get yourself somewhere where you cannot be harmed. No games, no jokes. I do not play when it comes to physical or emotional abuse because it leads to unaliving. And we have to learn that no one should be putting their hands on you and claiming that's love. And no one should be hurting you emotionally or mentally and claiming that's love. No one should be making you feel less than what you are and then claiming that that's love. There's no games and no playing with that one. And if you're in that situation, get yourself help immediately. There's too many ways to get help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline. Actually, that's one of the resources that I put in my book. I have a whole 2 sections on resources where I talk about different online groups as well as different ways, like online communities. I put them in here, as well as other contacts for you to be able to get the help that you need. BetterHelp at BetterHelp.com. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. And I'm reading it from my book. Psychologytoday.com is another resource where you can read about these things. But the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. And I have it in my book because I make sure that it's not just me telling you what you need, it's you also listing some of the resources that are available to you. I took time out in this book to make sure the things that you need to help you recover from a bad relationship are in the book. Keep tapping the screen, guys. Let's get to 20K. Come on. Because I've seen too many people stay in negative situations and justify the physical and the emotional abuse. Don't do that. No woman, no man needs to put their hands on you to show love. I don't care what they say to you. Don't stay for that. No person needs to physically put hands on you or beat you down so much emotionally that you feel less than anything to say that is justifiable in a relationship. It is not. And I'm not going to ask if anybody's been in that. That I'm not going to ask. What I am going to ask is, how many people in the chat have been to therapy? I'm going to get to number 10 in a second. How many people have been to counseling and been to therapy in the chat? Put me in the chat. I don't want to know what for. I want you to keep your business private. But if you've been to professional counseling or professional therapy, put me in the chat. I want people to see that people are out here getting help. All you guys see, the folks that are putting me, please understand, that's a beautiful thing. Thank you all. I want you all to put purple hearts in the chat for yourselves. Every one of you that said me, put purple hearts in the chat. I love it. Thank you, guys. I love that. Look at that. I love that. Put purple hearts in the chat for the chat. Give yourselves purple hearts. Let's go. Come on. Purple hearts. Everybody who went to counseling, went to therapy. I mean professional. Not auntie, what's name down the block, or I call my cousin. I mean real professional therapy. Put them purple hearts in the chat. I love it. And if you're looking at this and you have not gone to professional therapy, please look at the people in the chat who have said they went. So please understand that it is okay to get professional help. Let's look at the chat. Look at that. Look at that. I see you, T-Love. What's that? I see you, Ellie. I see you, Tab Queen. I see you, TLC. I see you, Melly. Yes, Steve. Lady P. Okay, Penny. B-Love. Known. Let's go. Vivian. Perfectly Imperfect. Great to see you here, love. I see all you. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. Let me just make sure I don't miss anybody. Oh, there we go. Let's go. It's important. I know what I do and I know how I've helped people, but Lord, I wish more people would go and seek professional help. It helps. And if you don't like your therapist or counselor, cut them loose, but make sure you're cutting them loose for legit reasons. Don't cut them loose just because they got you to a point where you had to deal with some uncomfortable. Remember, counseling is going to be uncomfortable. Don't cut them loose because they said something you ain't like. Now, if they're disrespectful, yeah, you cut them loose. If they're rude, yeah. If they're not showing any concern or compassion, but weigh that out. All right. So, last one, number 10, and then I'll gladly answer any questions. I have a couple minutes before I have to go out to travel to my counseling session. Let's get 10 10s in the chat. And I will, after number 10, I'll go back over the list for everybody, and I'll gladly answer any questions that you might have. So let's get 10 10s in the chat. Come on, chat. There's one. Thank you, Melly. Thank you, beloved. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Noam. Come on, let's get a couple more 10s in the chat. Jai, where that 10 at, Jai? You got me moving quickly. Where Jai at? Jai, I want 10 10s from you, Jai, by yourself. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, TLC. Thank you, Vivian. I'm waiting on Jai. Where's Jai? There we go. Hey, thank you, Jai. Welcome to the party. There you go, Christina. Appreciate you, Jai. All right. And Fun Guy brought this up earlier, and it's very important. I left these two at the end. Number 10, lack of respect, guys. Lack of respect. I don't care what a person tells you. If they're not respecting you, too much work. I understand. Number 10, lack of respect. Disrespectful behaviors like mocking, name-calling, and not valuing the other's opinions are frequent. That is a lack of respect. Oh, he just calls me that when he's upset. No, unacceptable. If he's mocking you, she's mocking you. If they're not valuing what you have to say, no. That is disrespect and should not ever be tolerated. Let's keep tapping that screen. We're almost at 20K, guys. I told you we get there. Let's go. Let's keep tapping that screen. We're almost there. 18.9. Come on. We're almost there. Keep tapping that screen. Lack of respect. Now, I'm going to ask the chat again, and y'all tap the screen while people are responding. How many of you was in a relationship where a person thought it was okay to be disrespectful? Put it in the chat. Me, I'm going to ask a second question to that in a second, but put it in the chat. If you was with somebody currently, we're going to have to deal with that, no. Time to get out the ski masks and fly to Vegas. Me in the chat. Come on. Me. Oh, me. I got you, Don. I see you, Steve. There you go. Me. Okay, Vivian. Okay, John, with the hand up. I see you. All right, now here's the big question. You do not have to answer it. Hey, and don't cop to no crimes on my live. How did you deal with it? Or are you dealing with it? If you're dealing with it, just say I'm dealing with it. Don't want you to get yourself in no trouble. But if you got out of that situation, tell me how you dealt with the disrespect. Because part of what I do with my book is to be able to have that conversation. So Josh said, they cut him off. I'm dealing with it. I got you. How did you deal with it? If you're dealing with a CC, you're not going to say anything. Just keep working. And CC, just get the help that you need. I need that book. The link is in my bio, bravenpublishing.com. Bravenpublishing.com. Ellie, if you can put that in the chat. Bravenpublishing.com. I'm trying to deal with it. Hopes that time and communication. I got you. Dealing with it. You guys that are dealing with it, make sure that you're getting professional advice to help strengthen your position and also to help you be comfortable with you. If you're trying to deal with it, and I respect that, just make sure that you have a professional influence offering sound instruction or guidance, whether it's through a book like mine or any other type of book or a podcast. Make sure that you're doing the research and that you're getting the help that you need so you're going about trying to fix it the right way. Yes, nothing wrong with that, Sheila. That's what I'm talking about, educating oneself. Make sure that you're getting quality information. If you got everyone who said they're dealing with it, cool. I respect you trying to make it work. Make sure that you're getting quality information to help you. The trauma bonds are very real, Tina. And we got to be very careful with that because we can all of a sudden get sucked into something that we can't get out of. Read a lot of books. Thank you, Sheila. Very important. A lot of books is out there to help you. But do the background. Also, Braven Publishing is the site where you can get my book. All right? All my books are on my websites, Braven Publishing. And also, if you are in need of professional counseling, if you think you're ready to invest in yourself for professional counseling, you can reach out to. I have a free discovery session. You can just click the link in my bio and The session is free. We can sit down and try to figure out if I'm the person that can help you or what the situation is. So I'm here for that as well. My information's in my bio. Okay? All right, let me see something here. There we go. But again, don't be scared to reach out and to get help, because it's super important, guys, because we have to be able to do the work, and it's not easy, but I can tell you, as a person who was able to put that work in for himself, you can get it done. You really can. Let's see, public. Okay, there we go. PUBL. Okay, ISNG. Nope. There we go. Hold on one second. Let me put this in. .com. Okay, there's the link to order my book. There's the link right there. And we're going to go back over. There's the link, bravenpublishing.com. And my counseling link, if you need counseling information, is Braven Consultants. I'll put that in the chat, and I'm going to go back over to 10, and I'll gladly answer any questions that you have. Let me just throw this in here for you. All right. Consultants. .com. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay, and there's my consultant's website as well. All right, so let's go back over the list so you guys can check your list. If you missed any, please let me know. I've also put up the link for my books. Here we go. And Ellie is going over the list right now. We're good to go. All right, I pinned the comments so you can actually, if you want to order the book, it's there. All right, here we go. 10 signs of a toxic relationship. Number 1, constant criticism and belittlement. Number 2, control and manipulation. If you have the list, you can add it to the chat as we're going. Number 2, control and manipulation. Number 3, lack of trust. Number 4, poor communication. Number 5, isolation from friends and family. I'm with you, Ellie. Number 6, frequent jealousy and possessiveness. Number 7. I got you, Ellie. I'm with you. Number 7, unequal power dynamics. All the power and finances of a relationship should not be in somebody else's hands. It should be even, or at least you have access to it. So unequal power dynamics. Hey, Puddin' Pop. We are talking about the 10 signs of a toxic relationship. You missed a good one today, Puddin'. Number 8, frequent breakups and reconciliation. You keep breaking up with the person, y'all keep getting back together. That circle is not healthy. It creates a bad mental positioning, as well as it causes trust issues. That is not healthy. If y'all can't work it out, it's time to go. Number 9, physical or emotional abuse. Get help and get ready to get yourself out of that situation. There's nothing positive about physical or emotional abuse in a relationship. There's no love there. I don't want to hear they put their hands on me because they love me. No. They're doing that. They make me feel that way because they're struggling with some things themselves. No. Get help. And the last one, 10, was the lack of respect. If a person don't respect you, you shouldn't be in that relationship. I don't care who they are, he is, she is. If they do not respect you, you should not get some food. You should not be in that relationship. Now, if you've gotten out of a relationship like that and need some pointers or some tips, my book, 10 Steps to Recovering from a Toxic Relationship. And I will go through some of the steps with you to show you I took into consideration what you need. The first step, accept your current mental, emotional, and positioning in your life. And then I give you 10 steps on how to do that. Yes, we reached 20K. Let's go, guys. Step number 2, pay close attention to how you got to this point. And there's 10 sub-steps to each step. Step number 3, don't blame yourself for your part in the toxic relationship. Number 4, offer yourself patience and grace. And again, each of these steps has 10 sub-steps to help you figure out how to do exactly that. Step number 5, face your pain. Don't be scared to accept your discomfort. Step number 6, getting closure is on you, not the person who hurt you. That is a big one because a lot of people keep trying to get closure from the person who hurt them. No, put them in the rear view. It is about you. It is time to be selfish about your healing. So again, number 6 is get closure. Getting closure is on you, not the person who hurt you. Number 7, I talk about keeping supportive people around you after getting out of a toxic relationship. You have to have a strong circle or build one, and I actually talk about that. And one of the ways that I talk about that is you have to identify your support system, because if you don't have one, then we got to build you one. Step number 8, how do you have to redefine your personal happiness. What is it that's going to make you happy now that you're out of this relationship? So you have to redefine what personal happiness looks like. Because we need new targets. We need new things to go after now that we're out of this bad relationship. Number 9, and this is a tough one too. I need you to stay grounded in your current position. Stay grounded. Okay, you're out of the bad relationship. It's going to get better. Don't you run back to that negative situation. Don't you go back to that person because you're a little uncomfortable. You got to be uncomfortable to get comfortable. Okay? And we're going to create goals. We're going to practice self-love. We're going to build a support network. We're going to set boundaries. All that is in the staying grounded in your current position section. Now, here's the last one, the last step. Oh, no, that's not the last one. That's number 10. So, number 10, how you care for yourself. The physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual way that you care for yourself is necessary for you to be able to grow after you get out of the relationship. All right, number 11, practice self-kindness, speaking life into yourself. Before I say number 12, in the chat, how many of you, now be real with me, how many of you say negative things about yourself? Privately and inside your head. Come on. Put in the chat. Put me in the chat. What we eating, Ja? What's for lunch, Ja? Put it in the chat. How many of you has said negative things about yourself in your head or even publicly, whether you made it as a joke or anything else? How many of you do yourselves dirty in private and in public? All the time. Wow. I got you, no. Wow, Pudding Pop. We're going to change that, guys. Remember, we can speak life into ourselves also. Oh, breakfast. Okay, where you at in the world, Ja? Remember, guys, we can control what we pour into ourselves. Even when frustrated, speak life into yourself. Yep, I do. I know Florida. Okay, I got you. Self-sabotage is real, but I need you to speak life into yourself. I'm always upbeat. And I stopped doing that because I found that I was getting too comfortable with self-degradation. I was doing myself dirty, just joking. When I was like, for no reason sometimes, like, why am I doing it? No, I'm that dude. And if you don't believe I'm that dude, that's okay. I do. I realized that because I was so arrogant when I was out running the streets being a whore, I went the exact opposite where I was tearing myself down because I didn't want to go back to being what I was. And I realized that wasn't healthy either. I'm not that dude that I was before. But there's no reason to tear down this dude. So I built this dude up. And this dude is now arrogant for other reasons. But it's not even arrogant. I'm just confident. Angry at myself this morning. Okay, Elaine. Well, I hope that you are able to speak life into that. Deal with what made you angry. Don't turn it on yourself, Elaine. Deal with whatever made you angry. Deal with that first. And then grant yourself grace. Say, okay, tomorrow's going to be a better day. The rest of the day is going to be a better day. Deal with what made you angry and then take the rest of the time. Watch your vocabulary. And the last one in my book, step number 12. Don't you check in on your ex once you're out of a negative situation. Don't you go back there and check and see what he's doing. Don't check and see who she's dating. Don't you care about what your ex is doing. Even if y'all are co-parenting, it is not your concern unless it is hurting your children. If it ain't hurting your children, leave it alone. You don't need to care about what they're doing with themselves. So what, they got a new car. So what, they got a new house. So what, they got a new person in their lives. So what? Leave it alone. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't be mad at somebody. Oh, yeah, now because he done got himself together. Now because she got herself. Focus on you. Focus on you and the person that's going to come into your life. Do not worry about what that person is doing or what they accomplished. So what? My ex once said to me, I guess I was the albatross around your neck keeping you from doing great things. No, boo-boo. You don't get that. No. You weren't keeping me from anything. I was keeping myself from it. So I'm sorry to disagree with you. You didn't keep me from anything. I had to figure me out. And I went on to do things after getting out of my first marriage that I could have never thought about doing when I was in my first marriage. Everything that I've done professionally came after 2003 when I was officially divorced. Everything. And who was I with? My current girlfriend, now wife. And we've been together 23 years. Married for 17. I had to get past a bad situation to be able to put myself in position to enjoy what God had for me to come. And that's how you have to reorganize it. I'm not worried. I don't concern myself with my ex does as long as my boys are okay. Oh, thank you, B-Love. Appreciate that. So we have the list. So I got a couple minutes before I got to get out of here to go to my counseling session. I'll answer any questions or take any feedback that you have from today. Hey, in the chat, give me something that you got from today that touched you directly. Put something in the chat that directly you connected with, or if you have a question, I'll gladly answer it. I got a couple minutes. Come on. Tell me something that you got from today. And it is Friday. I'm important. Yes, you are. Oh, I appreciate that, B-Love. I'm trying to pull it together. Don't worry about what he does, Donna. Just keep focusing on you. Hello, Penny. I need to consider myself and respect. Yes, come on, no. Oh, you're welcome. That's how I do what I do. Transparency is my major weapon because I have to be transparent. I want people to understand. How do you handle when your toxic roadmap is with your parents? I actually have a video where we talked about that. If you go to my YouTube, we did a show on that, and you deal with your parents at a distance. Do with what you need, and if you have to cut your parents off, you can. You can move away from them and just be there if they need you. Just because they're parents don't mean that you got to accept abuse. No. I'm strong enough to stay away from the toxicity. Let's go. Congratulations. I like that, Tina. Relationship, not romance. I got you. I have that on my YouTube page, actually. What you say? I appreciate that, John. That means a lot. Because I like when somebody can connect with what I'm saying. Speak up, express yourself, and stop doing things. Yes, don't put it under the rug. Deal with it. Especially if it's affecting you, Nina. If it's affecting you, deal with it. It hurts not to feel love from your spouse. Right? Well, you know what? Then that's not the spouse you need. That means the spouse that you need is out there. How much days should he have? How much say should he have? If he's not respecting you, none, actually. But if y'all have joint things in place, just the stuff that's going to deal with the joint stuff, the rest of your money is your own. Take control of that. The problem is, and I hope that answered your question, and I didn't want you to think I was brushing past that. My problem is when it's good, it's good, but when it's bad. Well, Tina, you got to ask yourself, why? And if the bad gets so bad, what is it that you two can work on together? Now, I ain't saying just blow your relationship to blow it up. Y'all might need couples counseling to get new techniques to how to lessen the bad and heighten the good. That way you get more good than bad, you're good to go. Because no relationship's perfect. But you want the good to be so good that even when it's bad, you got to fight to get back to the good. You might need professional help, but y'all both get professional counseling to be able to develop those skills together. And known financially, always have an idea of what your money is going to and be okay with that. Even when y'all have group things connected to each other. If y'all have non-negotiables that have to be paid between the two of you, cool. But you should always know what your money's going towards. Okay. Well, he might have grown up in a home where curse words is how people express themselves. But if you told him not to do that, then y'all need to work on that. And you need to be able to sit down and have a conversation so he understands what the curse words do for you, how it makes you feel. And again, feel free to post in the chat what you got from today's conversation, or if you have any questions, I'll answer it. I still got a couple more minutes before I jump off. We got to go get dressed. Well, my free discovery session link is in my bio. You can fill it out. You can get a free call with me to sit down and have a conversation, and we can talk about if I'm the counselor for you. If you're ready to make that investment into working on yourself, I'm here for it. This is what I do. In my bio is all my professional links, my website links, everything. Beware of wolves out there in sheep clothing. That's true. But we have to be able to identify the wolf. Sometimes we cannot identify the wolf, but we also have to understand how we're going to deal with the wolf once we identify it, fun guy. And that's why quality research is necessary. Check credentials, check history, do Google searches. I tell people about myself all the time. I tell people, put it in the do a Google search. You'll see that I've been on social media for a minute. I might be new to TikTok. I'm not new to social media. I've been on social media since 1994. But just do a Google search. Google search Keith Belvin. Google search KL Belvin. Google search KL the writer. And you will see, when I was performing poetry, you will see a whole lot. Put it out there. Go check. And that's super important. Often the wolf can be very subtle, but that's why research always uncovers the wolf, because the wolf has a particular way of doing what he does or she does. The wolf is going to do what they do, but the way you uncover the wolf is through sound research as well as paying attention to how the wolf moves. The thing that a wolf cannot hide is its purpose. The wolf's purpose is to destroy the sheep. The shepherd's purpose is to protect the sheep. So no matter what happens, if you pay close attention, the wolf will unveil himself. I teach that. I talk about that. The wolf and the shepherd move the same way. But you got to pay attention, because the wolf understands what it wants to do with the sheep. The sheep goes, no. We see the way the shepherd moves. We're not in danger around the shepherd. And you got to pay attention to that. So again, place it inside the chat what you got from today, and any questions that you have, come on. I'm going to hang out for a couple of minutes and I'm going to get ready to jump off. We got over 21K likes. Appreciate you guys. Spiritual enlightenment's a must. If people believe that, if people go that route, I believe you, fun guy. I personally believe spirituality gives you another route to healing. But if a person doesn't, I understand. But definitely, spiritual enlightenment does offer another off-ramp to the pain that you're dealing with. It also helps with building a foundation that I believe becomes very, very strong. But not everybody offers that way. So I do understand that people don't choose to go that way. I would suggest that they consider it, because a spiritual base also helps fortify your foundation and also gives you a way to heal. Thank you, Discovery. Because our spiritual base will then affect our social choices as well as our mental positioning and even what we do physically. You have a wonderful day as well, beloved. See you next Friday. Thank you, Tina. Yes, my link is in the bio. You'll see it. It says free discovery session. And again, all the previous shows are over on YouTube, so you can go over YouTube and check them out. That is another free way to be able to go and get some advice and some help. All my books are out there on my websites. Just click on them. But my books are on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Walmart and Target. My books anywhere books are sold. This current book right here is... They actually had it upside down at one point on Amazon. But yeah, oh, look at this. And I just did the same thing. But yeah, this book is everywhere books are being sold. But I would say go to my website so you can get a signed copy. And it has been actually received very well. I've actually did a couple interviews recently where we talked about mental health and we talked about how to deal with toxic relationships. But I'm here for it. This is what I do. And I know, like last week, I was all about to fold it up. I was like, I'm not coming on Fridays. I'm done. But then I said, no, I really want to be here. So, again, I'm glad to be here, because those that need to hear me will hear me. And if anybody that you know needs to hear this list, send them over to YouTube. It'll be over there before the weekend is up. I'll move it over there probably, if not tonight, over the weekend. I know I got a hectic weekend, but I'll get it over to my YouTube page. So if you know somebody that needs to see this, send them over to YouTube and just say, hey, check this guy out. Or they can always hit me up in the inbox. Hey, Hey, before we go, hey, thank you, Donna. Before we go, everybody, I almost forgot. Let's give the super moderator Ellie Purple Hearts because I couldn't do what I do without her. And I couldn't do it as well. I probably could do it without her, but I'd rather not because she is a beast as a moderator. Everybody, put purple hearts in the chat for Ellie. Come on, let's show Ellie some love, guys. She be working. I be paying attention to her. Thank you, Ellie. I thought about you too when I decided not to. I was like, Ellie's been putting in this work. Come on, let's put purple hearts in the chat for Ellie. Let's show Ellie some love because she does this no charge. She does this out of just wanting to support the live, and I so much appreciate it. Let's give Ellie some purple hearts. Come on, guys. Put them in the what's name for Ellie. Let me see. Where's my purple hearts? Because you gotta respect the people who are there to help you. So make sure. That was a little raggedy purple heart there. I gotta get more than that. Hold on a second. There we go. Let me put some more in there for Ellie. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And guys, don't forget to shout out the people who help you. Do not forget to congratulate and show appreciation to the people who support you. They become part of your support system that is going to help you. Last week when I was sitting in the hotel and I was like, I think I might be done on Friday, man. Then I thought about the work that Ellie does for free and I said, nah, if I'm going to go, I at least got to let her know and give it some time. And so that's what it caused me to say, let me get my butt back over here and do some work. So shout out to Ellie. And let me tell you something, like I said, y'all know this already. I have met Ellie in real life, and let me tell you something. She is intelligent. She is a very intelligent, beautiful woman, wonderful children. And I can tell you, any brother that's going to make a move there, he better come correctly. And to have sat with her and to have a conversation with her, it is so cool to have intellectual conversations with somebody and to be able to have respectful conversations. That's what we got to bring back into this world that's missing. We got to be able to be in each other's presence and be comfortable with each other. Plus, Ellie ain't going for the BS anyway, so I'm not mad at that. I'm just telling y'all, brothers, don't go over there with no foolishness. I'm trying to help you. Don't jump in her inbox on no. She from New York. Don't let the fact that she down south fool you. Don't let her current location make you think she's not that. She's from New York. And the part of New York she's from, you don't play those games. They don't get down like that where she comes from in New York. Trust me, I know. So I would be very respectful if you're going to try any inbox action there. Be like, hey, love, nah, bro, you better come a little smoother than that. So again, thank you guys. I appreciate you. So listen, I'm going to take the last 2 or 3. You got to, yeah. Don't have it go to the lockbox. You don't want that. So again, I want to thank all of you. You could have been anywhere in the world and you spent some time with me. I want to say thank you. Again, this is a safe space. We try to create an environment of respect. I try to do what I do as a professional. So this way you can gain something from it. And if that means something to you, let your friends and family know I'm here. I'm building something. I'm trying to anyway. And eventually I'd like to move this into a private space to give folks an opportunity to get away from an app where I'm controlled by, what I say. And thank you so much. I am. My business coach gave me some advice on some things that I'm putting into place. And I'm cutting some things loose and I'm putting some new things in place. But I'm building on my brand. I'm reaching out. I have a couple of businesses that I have to get in contact with. My after-school program got picked up for another year, so we're just waiting for the approval of the PO. So once the money is approved, my staff can finally get to work and we're good to go. So there's some things happening. But I'm trying to build something that's respectful, that people can feel comfortable with, that's not part of the mess, and we're not doing all that yelling and screaming over here. So thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to build a sturdy place for men and women to come here and feel comfortable that they'll be heard, as well as the information that's going to be to what people deal with. Also, guys, anybody that's still here, if there's subjects that you would like me to cover, just hit my inbox. What have you the courage and confidence to start? What have you... Nina, I'm a little lost on the question. What have you the courage, the confidence? I'm not sure of the question, Nina. What gave you the courage? Well, I've always been a person that's willing to put things into motion. What gave me the confidence was that I know what my talents are. And I read a book, Cure for the Common Life by Pastor Max Lucado, and it talked about using your godly gifts. And so I just simply took my godly gifts and put them into a situation where I'm doing what I'm gifted at, and I'm getting paid for it. So I just took my godly gifts and put them into a position. I went back to school. I got a second master's degree. But I've planned out the steps. But also, I'm always learning. And my confidence comes from once I understand something, I know what to do. These guys are from my old neighborhood, the Lost Boys. South Jamaica, Queens, baby. Something Boulevard. Yeah. The whole Lost Boys was a gigantic group. We're not going to call them gang. We're not going to feed into the negativity. How do you identify their gifts and talents? 2 ways. One, you can do professional assessments. There's assessments that you can take. Also, one of the things that Pastor Max Lucado talks about, let me turn this down some. One of the things that Pastor Max Lucado talks about is live your life backwards. And what I mean by that, Ellie, is you just sit back and live your life thinking of all the things that you did easy, that come to you easy, that you did without even having to think about it. And you will start to see what your gifts are now. How you turn them into something viable to make money is a different conversation. But the thing is, God has actually positioned you to see your gifts if you go look for them. The book is called Cure for the Common Life by Max Lucado. Published 2000, I want to say 7. Hold on one second. Look for the 2 dogs. Look for the 2 dogs. I have the audio as well. Look for the 2 dogs on the couch. But Cure for the Common Life. All right? And we talk about living in your sweet spot is, you're living in your sweet spot is using your godly gift to serve other people, and you actually find yourself in a great position. And it's a fantastic book. And it actually talks about when you're able to, you're more than you realize. See, you can't be anything you want to be, but you can be everything God wants you to be, which is actually interesting when I read that. You think you can be certain things, but actually you can be all of what God created you to be once you figure out what it is that God wanted you to be. So the book is outstanding. I've read it quite a few times. And I have the audio book, which sometimes when I'm on vacation or I'm somewhere where I can just relax. It's actually, I've just listened to it a 4th time now, and it actually really gives some great input. KL, I hope you're dressed. So that's one of the things, because once we can figure out the gifts that we have, and then we can apply those gifts to something that makes money, well, then it's not going to seem like we're working. I literally, the whole time during this pandemic, I sat right here in this chair and never missed an opportunity to make money. I was making money when a lot of other people were sent home because I was in my gift. I was doing what I had to do. And I would have never known at the beginning of the pandemic that it would have worked out that way, but sure enough, it did. I was able to counsel from right here in my office and still make quite a bit of money during the pandemic. And I say to anybody, if you start to really put the work in and understand your talents will make a way for you. I didn't know I was going to write a book this year on toxic relationships, but somebody reached out to me and said, I wish you could help me in this capacity. I thought about it, and I have a commitment to try to serve and to help. I ran with it. I sat down and thought about what I was going to need, and 5 months later, the book is created. I had my designer create the cover for me, and I used the tools that are available to me, and I got the book done. And it's a quality book. Actually, one of the better books that I've written. Actually, I was able to get it done in a shorter time than my other books because I was locked in on getting it done. So anybody watching, please understand that you have to first figure out what it is that you want, and then do a self-evaluation of who you are, what you have, what tools you possess, and then you got to go out there and get it. So to Nina, to your point, the confidence comes from an understanding of self. I know me. And the more I've learned what my capacity is, and I have not reached it, all I need is time. Thank you, Tina. Thank you. And I'm here. Like I said, the discovery call is free. We'll sit down. I'll explain to you who I am, what I do, and if you're ready to invest the time and the energy, yes, there's a financial tag to that too. But I even have a way to help with that. I'm not going to give away that we can talk about in privately. But when I tell you there's people that are willing to help you, there's a lot that people don't understand. So yes, I get other people to help you too. And I work with churches, and I get churches to pay for the mental health services for other people. Like right now, today I'm heading out to a church now, and they pay a portion of what the people can't pay. So yes, I have churches that help pay a portion of my services, my fees. So don't think that there's no help out there. The thing is, you can't get help with your mouth closed. You have nothing? No, I'm in Delaware. So I do things virtually outside of Delaware. And even now, with the looming pandemic still around, I do a lot more virtual than anything else. But occasionally I'll go out to be in somebody's presence. Like today, I'll be in somebody's presence today. So I'll do my hour session today in the presence. Actually, I'll be doing it at the church today. Biggie Ball speech. And that's the key, guys, is that we were given all the gifts necessary to take care of ourselves. Too many of us have allowed social media and looking at other people to stunt our own growth. I don't worry about what somebody else is doing. I'm not somebody else. I don't know what they sold to get on. I don't know if they sold their soul to become whatever it is that they wanted. I don't worry about that. What I worry about is what can I do to make me better? What can I do to protect my family and my loved ones? And what can I do to service the people who hire me to the best of my ability? So I'm always in a position of learning everything else. I'm getting ready to go too, Ellie. Thank you as always, Ellie. Love you, doll. Appreciate you. I hope you got your copies of your books. All right, so I'm going to get ready to go, guys. I just simply want to say to you, thank you. I appreciate you. And before I run, any last questions, because I don't want to leave anything undone. I appreciate you. Make sure you take a picture with the book. Send it to me. Be concerned about you and focus on you. You have to. You have to, Nina. Think about it this, Nina. You can't pour from an empty cup. How can you take care of anybody else and you're in tattered? Can't do it. And Tina, I'll look for that order. I will gladly sign it for you. When I applied positive to my life, became positively negative until I was introduced to humility. Well, it doesn't necessarily. Humility comes with the idea of accepting the fact that you need to make change too, fun guy. When we apply positive, it depends on what's considered the positive. Because with the positive, the fact that we actually allowed the positive to come in is a form of humility. The question becomes, did we address the negativity that was there? Once we address the negativity, now we can start the work. And humility is a part of it. I cannot disagree. Negative and positive can't occupy the same space. That's why we have to open that door and allow the positivity to come in. Turn that light on. Get the sunshine in there. Get that light in there. Positivity comes in many forms. Allow it into your life. Daddy. All right. What time is it? Almost 1:30? Yeah. So, but yeah, guys. We are the solution and the cure, but we're also the problem. We allow certain things to happen, but we can also allow certain things to change. You see the stories every day, so why not you? Why not you and why not today? Why not you and why not today? Why not today be the start of your whole change? Why not you? Why can't you be the next story that somebody goes, oh my God, I can't believe that I met Fun Guy. I can't believe that I met Ellie. I can't believe that I met Tina. I can't believe that I met Discovery. I can't believe that I met Known. I can't believe that I met all these different people. Why not? And that's it. Why not? Today's the start. Become that. You become the next story. And people will gravitate to you because they're going to see the change. When you listen to the interviews, what do people say? I knew I could be here. I didn't know I could be here. It wasn't until they started doing the work, and all of a sudden, doors open. And yes, you have the flashes in the pan who show up, and all of a sudden, for a hot 3 weeks, they the greatest thing going. But consistency and a solid understanding to what you want to change, and you build the foundation right, you're good to go. You in my life. What do I do? I do. All right, guys, it is time to go. Have a wonderful weekend. Blessings. I pray everyone well. Take it easy. Let me be out. Have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe. There we go.